Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. It's time for a hyper modern minimalistic mansion, and I built this house for a collab with the wonderful Chrissie's Corner. So Chrissie's Corner is her YouTube channel. You can also find her on Twitter where she's called Chrissie, and you can find her in the gallery. Her ID is ChrissieYT, and we decided to collab, and I built the exterior and she furnished this house. And let me tell you, she's so talented, and you are in for a treat. You totally have to check out how she furnished this house. She has outdone herself. It's just truly magical, magnificent. It's beautiful. She stayed in this kind of color scheme, lots of white and blacks, and it's super modern and still just so special, so many details. You just have to check her build out and her channel in general. She's just so talented and a great friend. She's wonderful. So make sure to check out Chrissie, and you will find all the links down below in the description box so you can head over and check out her work. She's just wonderful. So when we talked about the collab, we decided on a theme, and we wanted to have a modern house. Modern is always fun. I'm always down to build something that's modern, and I try to keep it a little bit smaller. Like whenever I collab with someone, I don't want to build a 64 by 64 house and just like use the whole space of the lot, and then there are like 12 bedrooms. This would be horrific for most people. Like furnishing can be exhausting, and even if you enjoy furnishing, it can be a lot. So I try to keep this a little bit on the smaller side. I built this on a 50 by 50 lot, but there's still a lot of space around the lot. I included a garden in the back. We have the whole front yard area, which is like the eye catcher probably. It's beautiful in my opinion, and we're going to talk about this as soon as I start to work on the front yard. Here I'm just laying out the shape of the house, and I used a Moschino stuff pack wall divider to create these huge windows. So what I did was I used the tool mod to rotate them, and this way I could just place them like this and they look like windows. Behind them I built a regular wall and included normal windows, I think the base game ones. I mean, otherwise the whole room would be open and the game wouldn't recognize the room as a closed room. So they are just for decoration. I just wanted to create the illusion of a house with these huge windows. And here at this point you can see that the top is kind of sticking out, it's poking through the ceiling, and I made sure that I just lowered it a little bit using the mod so the windows have the perfect position, so there's nothing sticking out anywhere and it looks good. I used a black swatch because I was going for this really minimalistic and clean design. A little bit just like my most recent build. I don't know, at the moment I just love these super monochrome builds for some reason, and I just wanted to have a contrast, so there's a lot of white on the exterior, and these black windows and just some other details just make it look a little bit more interesting, I'd say. Also, back to the windows or the wall dividers, in some areas I didn't even rotate them. So in the center I had to rotate them because I was going for this type of shape for this part of the build, but on the left and right side I didn't rotate them. I simply sized them up and I made sure that they would fit between the walls. So if you are not into using mods, you can still use this idea, and you can just use this wall divider. You size it up and you place it in the correct position and you create the illusion of huge windows. The amazing thing about these wall dividers is that they come in multiple amazing swatches. We have this very basic black and a white one. So if you want to create a really typical modern kind of build, white and black is always perfect. But there are also some crazy colors like red with some dots and orange, and a swatch that looks like a sunrise, like really beautiful. So I can recommend this object. I know that not everyone is into this stuff pack, but there are some really great objects. Also, there are other wall dividers in The Sims in general, in different packs and all that. So you could use this idea in different ways for sure, and you don't have to rotate them. And if you have a part of the build that is more shaped like a tower, then it would be perfect to just not rotate them, just size them up, place them there, and you have some really fancy windows, and it's definitely a totally different look. I wish that they would give us some huge windows, like really, really big windows for some really modern builds. And this would just be amazing, not just like the standard sizes. And this is why I tried to incorporate this little trick to just have a totally different look for once. And here I'm working on the front yard. I built another room at the bottom, as you just saw, and I removed the ceiling. And this way I have essentially a bridge. The bridge is right over the front yard area down there, and it leads up to the front door. And I build just these little fountains down there. I'm going to include some spa day waterfalls, and I decided to just have a hole in the center of this bridge so I could place a small tree down there. And then I liked the diamond shape and I wanted to just include more of them, but I didn't want to have a lot of holes in the bridge because it would be just like really stressful and not really manageable when there are many Sims walking around and there are just many holes basically. So what I did was I just have this one hole for the tree, and then later I'm going to include the island living glass floors, and I also placed them in this direction so it has this diamond shape. And the great thing is that your Sims can walk over these island living glass floors, and this way I created this bridge, and I used a lot of Spa Day Stony Goodness slabs. This is like this object here, this white object. This is from Spa Day, and just type Spa Day Stony or just Stony Goodness slab into the search bar if you want to find it. Or you can also find it in the fountain section. And I did it to just kind of make the build look more polished and wanted to hide a couple of blemishes basically, because I was working with the terrain and then you always have a small gap between the walls and the terrain, and I wanted this to look perfect. So in some areas of the build I used this object to just make it look more perfect. I then also decided to use a couple of debug rocks. This build looks really clean and minimalistic. I still wanted to incorporate something that's more natural, like a couple of rocks and a couple of trees, but not too many, which is also why I didn't really include any flowers, or not a lot. I wanted this super clean look, and I used the tool mod to just lower some of the rocks into the terrain. Again, you don't have to do this. I'm just really used to use the mod at this point, and you could just place them just like this, but this way you can just make it look as perfect as possible. And I created some type of walkway. It looks like a driveway technically, and it leads up to this area where I built another bridge. I'm going to build a pool over there. So there's just a lot going on. Even though it's quite simple, minimalistic, I wanted this to look special, not just like a white cube or rectangle. I don't know, I really wanted to include a couple of fun twists and ideas here and there. Also here at this point, I didn't include or work on the floor plan. I didn't furnish this because Chrissie did this, but I can already tell you that the finished build after she created the floor plan and furnished this has 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. There's also a super beautiful home cinema and a home gym and just like so many things. I don't want to spoil this, like check it out yourself and be surprised, but I just wanted to let you know that this is a proper family home. I mean, 5 bedrooms is amazing. The kids' rooms look so beautiful. Really, this build just has anything your Sims will need. If you're into like gameplay that includes families, I can just totally recommend once again to check out Chrissie. You won't regret it. It's just perfect. Here at the bottom, I included a super sized up version of the Spa Day Stony Goodness slab. I used the tool mod to rotate it, and this way I was able to create this super sleek slope. I didn't want to use terrain for this. I wanted this to have this really minimalistic and almost plastic look in some areas, so I didn't want to have a natural slope using the terrain tools over there. I wanted to have this wonderful modern white slope. So I have the Spa Day Stony Goodness slab, and then I used more debug rocks to just hide the top and to make it look perfect. And again, in this area, I was just able to combine this really modern look with something that's natural. I like to work with some contrasts. I did this here with the contrast of white and black, but also with this like really minimalistic elements and some natural elements. I think this way some elements of a build just kind of pop. You really notice them, and I just like to do this. And then I included more Stony Goodness slabs down there to make it look perfect, and I at this point had to work on the garden and on the back of the house, of course. So the back of the house is really simple, just like most of the front area. This house has 3 stories, and I think in hindsight it was a lot to furnish probably, but I don't know, just it's so weird. Like whenever I try to build something that's small, I just lose control. And I don't know, like I feel like I have lost any sense for small or huge builds. I'm just so used to build huge mansions that I don't know, I just don't even know what's small anymore. It's like super, super weird. Whenever I really try, it's like, no, this is a mansion. I'm sorry. It just happens. I really have to step up my tiny build game. I mean, my focus are mansions. This is what I love to build, and I think most of you enjoy these houses the most on this channel, or you wouldn't be here probably. But every now and then I think it's good to just have a tiny build or a small build, and I think it's especially hard for me to build something that's just small, because tiny is just another extreme. And when Tiny Living came out, for example, I built some really tiny houses, and this was a lot of fun. But I don't know, this is just like another extreme, and I can try to do it. But when I think, okay, small, then just expand it more and more, and it's just like this weird in-between state, just small, not tiny, not big. And I think, I don't know if I've ever nailed this before. I should try. So here I included these diamond-shaped glass floors, and I just had to figure out which floor color to use. I didn't want to use any wood after all, because I don't know, it just felt like I just have to stay in my lane and have to use all these whites and blacks and no wood, because I have a tendency to just slap a lot of wood onto a build as soon as it's modern. But here I wanted this to be really monochrome, so I was like, nope, no wood floor. I had to hold myself back. And then at this point it was just all about just hiding some areas like this one here, and just adding stony goodness slabs and just a couple of things, and just adding more color to the walls and decorations. And I mean, the build is pretty much done at this point, and this is like the point where I just had to add the garden and just a couple of small things. Also, next week I'm going to play Animal Crossing finally. I've never played Animal Crossing in my life before, and I'm really excited if I'm going to enjoy it or not. And if you want to check out my progress in this game and how I kind of discover it, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @KateEmerald, so it's just KateEmerald on Twitter. And I'm going to share a couple of screenshots here and there. I don't plan to make any videos on this topic on Animal Crossing. I just want to share a couple of screenshots here and there. So if you are interested, you can follow me on Twitter, and I'm generally super active over there. So I don't know, I'm just sharing builds and stuff. I just tweet a lot, I guess. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. I just wanted to mention this because I'm really excited to finally play Animal Crossing, and I know that the hype is kind of almost over, but yeah, I was finally able to get my hands on a Switch, and I'm just really excited. And I don't know how this goes. I want to have a super beautiful island, and I'm just excited. So I just wanted to mention this. I know that a lot of people who play The Sims also enjoy this game, which probably makes sense because you can decorate stuff and make it look beautiful, and it's really chill. So I'm just excited if this one is for me. I play a variety of games in general, so I'm open to a lot of stuff. I play games for different genres. I mean, I enjoy The Sims and stuff like Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, but I also like to play Counter-Strike or Arma or just stuff like this. So I'm open to a lot of stuff, and I receive I'm going to like it. I just, yeah, wanted to tell you guys that it's finally happening. And here I'm working on the garden. The garden is just as minimalistic and really simple as the rest of the house. I included this kind of planting pot in the center, a couple of deep bug plants, no flowers, just like, I don't know, wanted the greenery, the shrubbery to be as modern as the rest, as weird as this sounds. I included these benches, and I used a wallpaper that glows in the dark. I'm obsessed with this one. It's just wonderful. And a couple of lights in the ground, just some decorative stuff. I also wanted to have an outdoor kitchen and just a lot of cool stuff. So very simple and basic and minimalistic, but still a lot of stuff, and your Sims can just enjoy the garden. They could have a party over there. I really wanted to make sure that this build has everything on the exterior, and Chrissie took care of the rest because she furnished this. And yeah, I just want to mention this again. Make sure to check out Chrissie's channel, her gallery, and just check out all the links that I'm going to include in the description box if you want to. You are not going to regret it. She's amazing, and I would like to say thank you to Chrissie for collabing with me. It was a lot of fun. She's such a great friend, so I really enjoyed this. I hope that you enjoyed this build. I hope that you will enjoy how Chrissie furnished this, because it's wonderful, and I just hope that you have a perfect week. And of course I included screenshots so you can see the exterior, and I also included screenshots from above, so there is no floor plan, but you just get an idea what's going on in this build and the shape, and yeah, just in general. So here you can check out the screenshots now, and I would like to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Chrissie for collabing with me and for furnishing this house, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.